Detroit Lions fans. Steve, what are you doing? You dancing around back there? What is happening right now?
Close the door in case anything goes on downstairs that I'm not prepared for.
What is happening? This live
and that's why we have an intro, so for little things like that, so that I can fix it within 9 seconds.
Man, I just my only wish is I would have been 2 seconds earlier, just the hair, man, guys. I'll get the true Hollywood story on what was really going on, guys, and I'll release that on Twitter. Anyways, Detroit did 313. We're back. Stephen Will, ready to do another one, man. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. If you don't know already, Steve, we hit that 10K. We hit that 10K, so you guys already know. We can stop selling you on this going down, and you can just know that it's about to go down. So what I will say, and I'll get off that soapbox, is if you're not subscribed, you're not going to be in the giveaway. That'll be going down here soon in the next few days. Me and Steve will figure that out and put that together. Just hit that 10K last night. Maybe me and Steve figured it out at like 2 a.m. or whatever it was, man. I was pumped. I couldn't even sleep, man. I was so pumped up. So, guys, if you're not subscribed again, you won't be in the giveaway, and we're about to give away a lot of But to the meat and potatoes of this thing, Steve, what the heck are we talking about, man?
I want to ask you a question, William.
Talk to me.
The Detroit Lions, I feel like our team, our culture is priding themselves on picking up and drafting or assigning players who want to be with the Detroit Lions. So with that being said, earlier this morning, I saw that Tim Patrick posted something on his Instagram right here saying, I only want to work with the Lions. So how do you feel about Tim Patrick? Do you think he needs to be a priority going forward for the remainder of this free agency?
I think what's best for the Lions needs to be the priority, and it always needs to be the priority. And that's just what it is. This is a business first, not vice versa. Do I like Tim Patrick? I do. But we need to figure out, is he the best option for the Lions? And that's not something you rush into. Is there some guys still out there that maybe could help us potentially, that maybe Brad is in negotiations with? I'm sure he is, man. Brad is doing a phenomenal job at negotiating contracts. Listen to him. I was just about to say, listen to a brief press conference is what word I'm looking for with Carlton Davis today. And I felt like, even though he even said, like, hey, I'm not looking to throw shade at the Detroit Lions or anything like that. I don't want my words to be misconstrued. But he did keep saying, I want to go somewhere where I'm the priority. Right? I'm the priority was a word that he used multiple times. You shouldn't be the priority of a team. It's about what's best for the team, right? If you're a Michigan man, you know the team is what it's about. So if Tim Patrick is what's best for the team, then I would love to have him. Fan of Tim Patrick, love his story. I love that he was able to bounce back from all the injuries and everything he's put up with his whole career to have a healthy season last year. But if you're telling me that maybe there's somebody in a draft like a Troy Horn, right? Or Horton, I'm sorry, that maybe we could get to the Detroit Lions, a younger guy who maybe has a more upside, then maybe I'll go that route. If you're telling me there's somebody in free agency that maybe we can grab that might put us in a better position, I think we need to entertain that. So that's where I sit, man. It's nothing against Tim Patrick, but we need to be focusing on what's best for the team. How you feeling?
I'm with you. And I'm glad you set it up. You tee that up for me without even knowing it. So let me ask you this. I think we do need that third wide receiver, whatever you want to label Tim Patrick as, wide receiver 3 or 4. I know people get in the comments and put, oh, Tim Patrick's actually wide receiver 4, whatever. I don't care. Tim Patrick. Is he replaceable? Yes, I think he is. Let me ask you this, William, and I know we've talked about this guy a little bit before, but I feel like the circumstances have changed, and some news happened the other day with Kupp being released. Is he someone you would be interested in? Because last time we talked about him, we talked about trading for him. Now we don't have to give up assets. He's someone we could just purely bring in. And I feel like the ties with Jared Goff are pretty obvious, and also the ties with Brad Holmes are pretty obvious. You know, that's someone who scouted him while he was in college. So with him being a free agent now and not having to give up assets, is that someone you think would be an upgrade? Kupp over Tim Patrick?
The messed up thing is this, Steve. If you'd have asked me this 3 days ago, I would have told you, yeah, I'm interested. But yesterday, what I got an opportunity to do is watch a bunch of football. I was watching our new nose tackle, Mr. Lopez. That's going to be a problem. Who I really like now, and I was just watching. I watched a lot of Derek Barnes. I watched most of his snaps in his short stint from last season. And another guy I watched because I knew that Cooper Kupp was going to get released was Cooper Kupp, and I feel like Cooper Kupp is on the decline. I feel like Cooper Kupp is a guy who's very intelligent. I feel like he's a guy that if you play zone against him, he'll be able to find the holes in the zone. He's got good hands, but I don't know that a guy like that, a guy that's not creating mismatches every NFL game is worth 12, 14 million dollars. I just don't see the Detroit Lions when they gotta pay Kirby Joseph 4 years, 90 million. I mean, if you guys think that we're getting around 4 years, 90 million, I can tell you we're probably not. The best case will probably be 4 years, 85 million maybe. But Kirby Joseph is getting 20 million or more a season. Uh, then you got to pay Hutch, and there's some other things that we got to do. It just doesn't make economical sense for me, and especially for a guy who's on a decline. I'm not seeing it with Cooper Kupp. Are you interested?
I'm interested, William. I agree with you to an extent about the decline. I think when I look at his decline, I think it's mostly his health. All right, he played a full season in 2021, and then he hasn't played a full season the previous 3 years. But I'm looking at solid numbers still. I'm still seeing 800 yards, 700 yards, 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 and 6 again. So, well, his durability might be on the decline. I still think he's a guy who can catch footballs and a guy. Hey, I'm glad I closed my door, Will. I'm glad I closed my door at the beginning of the episode because things like this happen. Oh, Christmas presents?
Hey,
Donuts?
a little 10K gift from the fam. A little
Those are
10K gift from the fam.
I'm
Hey,
not
come
sure.
on and get in here. Come on and get in here.
Is someone coming to my house to drop off some goods?
Hey, Uncle Steve said he wants to know: is anybody coming to his house to drop off some goods, or what are we doing here? Yeah, what are we doing? Busted in on the show. This family is just ruthless here. Just yes, sir. We'll negotiate your cupcakes of mine and Steve's
Help yourself. Help yourself to all the cupcakes.
Uncle Steve said help yourself. Back to I apologize, guys. I was bombarded. Love you guys.
Yeah, and that's why you lock your door at the beginning of episodes. Well,
I gotta start locking these doors during the episode, man. Happy 10K. Hey, love you guys. I don't even know where we were at, man. Back to it. I apologize.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I see a decline in health and availability. I don't know what I'd have to pay him. And you said something the other day that kind of interests me about, when the dust settles in free agency, who's still there? Can we get more of a value deal? I'm not paying Cooper Kupp a shit ton of money. If I could get him here on a 1-year deal, I'll say maybe 2, but I don't love it. Like I said, he's still putting up some yards. He's still putting up some touchdowns. He can still catch a football. Is his route running as crisp as it probably was 5 years ago? Not at all. When I look at his best season with Jared Goff was in 2019, where he put up 1,100 yards. Other than that, he hasn't put up 1,000 yards since his crazy season in 2021 when they won a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. So I'm actually a little surprised when I was looking at his stats to see that a player of his caliber has only had 1,000-yard season twice in his career. But we don't need him to be a 1,000-yard receiver. We got J-Mo, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown to take care of that business. Can he be another security blanket for Jared Goff on third down? Is that someone that is comfortable with Jared Goff? Yes, they have a little history. Like I said, they weren't lighting up the scoreboard or the stat sheets when he was in LA. So I know a lot of people think that chemistry is like the final saying, the be all see all, type thing. But I'm interested in Cooper Kupp, but my heart's not going to shatter into 1,000 pieces if he doesn't end up in Detroit. But he's still available. Tim Patrick saying what he's saying. I love what you're saying. You got it's team first. Who improves the team? That's for Brad Holmes to decide. If he goes out and gives Cooper Kupp a contract, I would expect it would be very, very team friendly. Maybe he's in the position to give one of those prove it deals with a lot of incentives based on health and playing time and catches and all that. But I am interested in Cooper Kupp, but he's not at the top of my priority list.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. No Cooper Kupp for me, but that said, Steve, I got a message, and I don't know how well this is going to be received, and hopefully, I don't put our 10K in jeopardy. But I got a little bone to pick with some of the Detroit Lions fan base.
Oh boy.
Between the things that I'm seeing online, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, uh, the things that I'm seeing or hearing from people we come in contact with, messages that I'm receiving, or comments that even come into our thread, I just don't understand. And maybe you can fill me in on some insight if you have some perspective on how people are so upset, so enraged, so disgusted with Brad Holmes and some of the things that he's been doing in free agency when we're coming off of a 15-2 season. When the season before that, we were a scratch and sniff from the Super Bowl, 1.5 away from being in a Super Bowl. You would think that we were still the 0-16 Lions with some of the comments that people are making, some of the unpleasantries that people are dropping. I'm just confused by it. I don't get it. It's one thing to have questions. We come on the show and we have questions about things. It's one thing to pose different solutions, but it's another thing to just say, hey, Brad Holmes is an idiot. He should be fired. And if you guys believe that he's any good, you guys are idiots too. So, Steve, do you have anything to kind of speak to that or how you feel about that? Because I know personally, I got some things on my mind.
I like to win football games. I don't like to win free agency. That's pretty much what it comes down to. When you and me go to Ford Field on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, we want to see Detroit Lions win. All right. I don't care who's winning free agency right now. I don't care what the Bears are doing. They can spend all their money. Football games are won on the field. All right. The Detroit Lions have put together one of the best rosters in the NFL. And I said this the other day, the best teams don't have to make major splashes in the NFL. You build through the draft, you add through free agency. That's exactly what Brad Holmes is doing. He's building this team through the draft. That's his bread and butter. I get it. The draft class last year wasn't fantastic. It wasn't great. Maybe it was probably his worst one. That's pretty easy to say when you look at his previous 3 drafts when he hit absolute nukes. I can't even say home runs, Will. He hit absolute nukes. We're talking all pro Hall of Famers on our team from the draft. He had a swing and a miss in 2023. What he's going to do, or 2024, I'm sorry, 2025 draft loaded. All right. Free agency, we added some pieces. We added some depth. We added some insurance. We all saw what this Detroit Lions defense was looking like in week 18. People forget what it looked like weeks 1 through 4 when it was healthy, when it was all put together, when you had some rotational guys. Those rotational guys were dropping like flies. I've never seen anything like it in the NFL. A couple torn ACLs, a dirty hit on Marcus Davenport, a freak accident with Aiden Hutchinson. Things just happen in the NFL. You add your pieces in free agency that are just nice little complementary pieces. And this free agent class didn't have like a monumental type player that we just had to go out and get. Maybe Josh Sweat. Was I okay with giving him to what do you get, $23 million? Probably not. That's a lot of money for a guy of his caliber. And I'm not saying he's not worth it, but I'm looking at the Lions defense and what we're going to have to sign coming up. I think that's what people forget is there's contracts down the road. Stay the course, build this team through the draft. All right. In April, you guys are going to be saying, man, look at this Detroit Lions team. We signed, a couple of solid pieces in free agency, and now the draft's here, and we just drafted 3 or 4 possible more starter/role players. Like, this team's going to be loaded when game time comes around, Will. So I'm excited. I love what he's doing. Hit a home run in this draft, and it's easy to do. There's a lot of good talent.
I agree, man, and I just I don't know. I got an extra. I got something extra on my back about it today. The whole thing reminds me of whether it's people commenting here, whether it's people commenting about Brad Holmes and the things that they say, whether I think about the things that people were saying about the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, and you could never win a Super Bowl with a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, whether it's people that were saying to us, why are we going to start a podcast? Nobody is going to listen to us. It's a stupid idea, right? Right. 10K later, motherfuckers. 10K later, right? Excuse my French, but
there's kids in the house. We'll clean it up. $1 in the swear jar.
Yeah, they know when dad gets pumped up what really goes on. So does God, Lord, sorry. But on that same token, Steve, those things, if you're really a competitor, and you said it before, hey, listen, I don't know if I would have kept podcasting forever now, but I'll never quit now. It's on now. Now I got to show you. And I feel the exact same way, man. But to that same token, what do you think Amon-Ra St. Brown is about? Right? What do you think Penei Sewell is about? Right? And if you don't notice what's going on in the city of Detroit with their football team, they're drafting guys and they're picking up guys in free agency that have a certain mentality and chip on their shoulder. And I think what people don't understand is a mindset will beat talent, in my opinion, probably 9 times out of 10. And I really want to say 10 times out of 10, because that talent, that guy that's always been good, that's always had his way, that's never had to deal with adversity, that's never had to deal with being the underdog, has never understood what it takes to be gritty, doesn't have to go to that dark space and tough it out. Doesn't know how to do it when it's time to do it. Doesn't know how to be down by a bazillion points and throw 5 interceptions and still keep clawing to go beat the Houston Texans. They don't know how to do that. Doesn't know how to get traded from some team that says you're trash, and then, hey, they think that you're a bridge quarterback. Hey, doesn't know how to get drafted late in the 4th round when you thought that you should have been in the 1st or the 2nd round, and you're sitting there looking at your phone wondering why it's not ringing. Right? They don't understand that. So when we get in these tough situations, we're building a team of dogs that are ready to go in those tough situations. I feel like that's underrated. We're not just pressing the button on a guy who runs a 4.3, or a guy that's 6 feet tall or 7 feet tall or whatever, or a guy whose shuttle is 0 seconds or whatever. So, Steve, I got a brief snippet of the 3 guys that we just brought in. It's 2 minutes, so guys, bear with me. But I think it kind of speaks to what's going on. You don't got to like it, but it should make sense to you. All right, so I'm going to run it real quick. We got DJ Reed on that.
Well, the reason being is I'm a scrappy guy myself. I have grit. I'm a tenacious player. I want to dominate and win every rep. I'm a willing tackler as well as corner, which, most corners don't want to tackle. Most corners want to cover. I like to throw myself out there when I have to, and I also want to cover as well. So I think I fit well, and also, being a mentor, being an older guy to, help guys like TA. I'm looking forward to meeting Amik and everybody else, and I'm really looking forward to playing with the safety duo. Like, that's something I was very excited about, is I'm going to be playing with 2 all-pro safeties, you know what I mean, which that's going to take my game to the next level, and I think it's going to turn up the whole defense.
Like you've grown each year of your career.
Roy Lopez on deck.
Coming here and making this move.
Right. I think the biggest thing is people keep saying I'm added to a room that, I play a lot of like with. These guys play hard. They play for 4 quarters to the end of the whistle, and that's exactly who I am. When people ask about me, show up every day ready to work, excited to be here. It's a blessing. No bad days, man. And so I think that's the biggest thing is I'm going to grind it out to the very end, till the clock hits 0, and maybe 1 more second after that. And so it's a blessing to be a part of this room.
Yeah, play style is definitely crash out. Play style is definitely relentless effort.
Grant Stewart.
Doing what I have to do to make the plays to help the team win. Like, whether that's setting up a play for somebody else, whether that's making a play myself, whether that's running through the fullback's face, whether that's playing fullback if you need me to. Just open to whatever to help.
Listen, here's what I'm going to say. Brad Holmes is brilliant. He's brilliant. And so is Dan Campbell. They're not doing what's been done in the past. That's not how you become a trailblazer, by doing what everybody else is doing. Oh, I'm going to go sign this guy. He was a Pro Bowler. He was this. He was that. They're signing dudes that will run through people's faces. They're signing dudes that will crawl and scratch for their teammate, for their brother. They're signing dudes that are willing to do whatever it takes to win the game, to do what they need to do for their teammate who's standing next to them. Whether it's come in and be a mentor, whether it's come in and spend some extra time at the facility, whether it's study late, whether it's teach other people, right? Whether it's Hey, play a position that I've never played before, like Grant just mentioned, or Malcolm Rodriguez did, playing both sides of the football. It's about not complaining. It's about getting to the business, and that's what a Detroit Lion is now. So if you don't understand what Brad's doing, I think you're completely missing the boat, and I think that you should really reflect on what's really going on in the city of Detroit, because it's special, man, and you should come be a part of it instead of crying like little babies, because I don't understand it. Why people are, even podcasters, right? And you know who you are. I ain't gotta, yeah, you know who you are. Getting on and saying, "Oh, now we can't win a Super Bowl because Brad's screwing everything up. Now it's not possible." Oh man, we didn't get an edge rusher and spent $30 million. Now we have no chance. Ha 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 ha. This dude's an idiot. It's foolish. It's juvenile. I'm happy. We got the best GM in football, and this team is gonna be good for a long time because it's young, it's tough, and it's relentless. Steve, back to you, man. That's all I got on it.
How much time you got, William?
I got nothing but time, but
let me just get comfortable. I know it was a previous regime. I know it wasn't Brad Holmes, but let me just remind everyone about when we signed Trey Flowers from the New England Patriots. All right. He was a highly sought after free agent. A lot of people were happy, thrilled. We had to overpay to get him here because that's the type of team we had. He came here and he absolutely sucked. He was just here to get his money, to go about business and play a little football here and there when he felt like it, cash his paychecks and go home. I know that was in the Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn regime. This is a brand new regime with a whole different mindset. We're bringing in guys who want to play football. Like you said with the Carlton Davis interview, I watched it. I even read it word for word from an article that someone posted on Twitter. The difference is, and I'm not throwing shade at Carlton Davis. He was great while he was here. But in his interview, he was talking about I wanted to be, taken care of. I wanted to be a priority. When you watch these three interviews that we just showed you, small little clips, the common denominator was helping the team. You need me to play D tackle? I'll play D tackle. You need me to play fullback? I'll play fullback. You need me to play defensive end? I'll play defensive end. William, I don't know. Listen, I'll say this about Detroit Lions fans. We have the best fans in the world. I'll say that. We have the most passionate fan base. I've lived in 5 big cities across this country that have good football fan bases. And maybe I'm being a homer, but Detroit is number one. All right. I've lived in Dallas and I know they're all about them Cowboys. We're a passionate fan base, and we're also a fan base that's new to winning. All right. This is uncharted waters for us. All right. It's only been 3 successful seasons, and only 2 of them have resulted in us making the playoffs. But I don't know, Will. I think some people are really just hungry for that Super Bowl win, myself included, you included. Like, there's just a way to go about it. And I just keep saying, like, in this free agency class, in my opinion, there just wasn't anyone out there that I had to have. Like, there wasn't anyone that I'm going to flip tables over if I don't sign. Like, the one guy I really wanted was probably Josh Sweat. After him, all the defensive ends and these edge rushers remaining, we have questions about. There's no marquee defensive pass rusher in this free agency class. But I'm telling you guys, come April, we'll be singing a different tune. When we look at this roster from top to bottom after the draft, it's going to be completely different, night and day. Everyone will be back on the Brad Holmes train saying, man, he cooked up another masterpiece of a draft. I just can't wait. And I hope you guys come and leave those comments, because it's not frustrating. It's just like, I'm not here to change anyone's mind. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. All we do on this podcast is give our opinion. The only difference is it's on camera and we record it every night. So I don't know. I think Lions fans are passionate. It's just maybe a little impatient. I get it. We sniffed the NFC Championship game. We were up 17, 30 minutes away from a Super Bowl. This past year, we were the number 1 seed. Despite all the injuries throughout the year, we were absolutely depleted, and we still had a home playoff game. Things didn't go our way. We got outplayed by Washington and got our butts beat. You think Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes don't have a bad taste in their mouth? I bet you they do. I bet you it's a worse taste in their mouth than it is in ours, because it's a little bit more personal for them. It's their jobs. It's our jobs to just sit here and talk about it. So we're going to get there. I do believe that this regime will win a Super Bowl. And I saw some stuff on Twitter as well about people saying, I don't think the Lions are the Super Bowl favorites for next year. That's fine. I don't need to be the Super Bowl favorites. I don't need to go 15-2. I'll be happy with 10-7 with a home playoff game and in a path to the Super Bowl with a fully healthy team is better than winning 15 games. That's probably never going to happen again. But 10-7, give me a Super Bowl. instead of 5 extra regular season wins, because all I care about is who wins the last game of the year.
Facts, man. Facts. You hit the nail on the head, man. So, again, I'm just trying to be responsible for the energy that we're putting out for our team. That's really what this is about. Because if we band together and support our team even more, I can't even imagine, because you're right. We do got the best fans in football, but we can be better, right? We went 15-2, but we didn't win the Super Bowl. We can be better. And it's about being better, and it's about being responsible for the energy that you're putting out to me, because bottom line is this. There's a couple players that have stumbled across our podcast. There's a whole lot of wives and girlfriends to players that have stumbled across our podcast. And I never want to be the reason why negative energy hits anybody on that team and affects them negatively. I want them to show up at our podcast and know that we're firm but fair, right? We're firm but fair. But at the end of the day, we are two individuals that bleed Detroit Lions, Honolulu blue. And we're always rocking with these guys. And at the end of the day, man, it is us against the world, man. It's Detroit Lions fans and the Detroit Lions against the world, man. So that's just the bottom line for me, man. All this stuff about fire Brad Holmes and he's trash and he's this, it's just wild to me. And if you got grievances and you got disagreements, I just think that there's better ways that you can go about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident in this regime. I'm just looking at just reminiscing about the past and things that we had to do to get good players here. Now we're getting good players that are just role players because our team's just so deep. So I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. You know, I've spoken my piece. But anything else for tonight?
No, man, I'm excited, man. You mentioned that these players that are coming in being role players. Grant mentioned today, man. He had opportunities to maybe go play for bad teams, maybe be a starter for bad teams, man. So we got guys that are choosing to be here because they understand they're going to have to claw to get on that field, but this is a good football team. That excites me. Coming up, guys, we hit that 10K. We are men of our words. There's going to be a crazy giveaway that we're going to be putting together in the next few days. I don't know if it'll be this weekend or beginning of the next week, so gear up for that. If you are not subscribed, you will not be in the giveaway. So take these next couple of days to really do some soul searching. Do you want to be in these giveaway when we're giving away Aiden Hutchinson jerseys and $100 gift cards? And I don't know, I might give some of Steve's gear away. I don't know. Who knows, man? He's gonna be at the hospital at some point. Oh yeah, I know you got some gear at that house, man. I seen some of that swag. You know what I mean? So
good luck.
Maybe while you're at
my vicious guard dog. Good luck. Just don't bring a tennis ball with you.
That's all I got, man.
Yeah, we'll try to get a live show on the menu hopefully early next week. I got an Aiden Hutchinson jersey staring me right in the face here, and think about becoming a member too. I'm going to put out a poll for our members on our community page and let them decide what prize do they want. Do they want one of the gift cards? They want one of the jerseys, because I know we've given away a lot of jerseys. So if someone would prefer the gift card, we'll let them decide. So think about becoming a member. It's cheap. It's greatly appreciated, but not required. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.